Craig Sawyer is our guest. Well, I wish he was in studio for this, because the stuff he's laying out is just so powerful, and it dovetails with all the sources I've got. Top retired generals. I don't mean retired 20 years ago. I mean retired like 2 years ago. Just intel people, patriots, law enforcement. We can be critical of. The government does some things, and he gets given orders that aren't good. But the point is, they're not pedophiles, and they stand up for innocent people. And I got to say, I've been a big critic back in the day of the military, because I saw it as the power of the globalist. But I see it now as what's biting them in the ass. I was never anti-military, because that's who leaked the info to get Trump elected. That's who's fighting. It's not the Russians. And they're so pissed that patriots in our military, in our intelligence agencies, got the info of the American people, like this new Vault 7 stuff. That's from the CIA. And I just look how it's crazy. Is like almost everybody in the actual work in government is actually good and doing a good job, and they're run by a bunch of scum one little layer above them. And then now Trump said they're trying to totally ignore him, and then Trump is actually going after the pedophiles. I was looking, it's like 10 times the average monthly arrest. It's just they're rolling them up, and they're catching them with the kids, the people actually producing it. And so, again, you ask, 186 arrested here, 474 arrested there, 200 arrested here, 25 arrested there. Caught with the kids, caught. In some cases, you know, they're killing them. Because Satanism they don't just rape them. And a lot of times they use abused kids as like the procurers to go out in like the Renfields for the metaphysical Draculas and get the kids. And it's just, what's crazy is they've gotten emboldened, so they're just running wild right now. And it's like a algae bloom or something in your pool. I mean, we got to dump some bleach in here or something. So, Leanne, you've got a ton to cover on this. You got a bunch of big breaking news. We got so much to get to. But Craig Sawyer, everybody, tacticalinsider.com. I'm personally going to donate $10,000, because I know this guy's not about the money. This is 100% about doing what's right. He has top Discovery, History Channel shows. We had private discussions. I don't know if he wants me to repeat the things he said, but obviously you do this, you're off TV. The guy's giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars. He doesn't care, because he's got all his sources that are on these raids, and they're seeing it, and it's being covered up. And I'm not just getting it from Craig. I already am getting this from all my sources. So I'm at dinner with him hearing all this, and I know all these other sources, including family that just recently got out of the Army. And so it's just like, they're like, you won't believe how widespread it is. It's like 7-Elevens, I'm not saying 7-Eleven's bad. I'm saying it's like, it's all over the place. It's like these people are so emboldened. They're so arrogant. That's why they're pushing all over the news that pedophilia is okay. And liberal publications are saying, what's wrong? You know, if they want to date your 5-year-old daughter. And I'm just looking at these guys, you know, on these videos on Salon. I can't help it. I got daughters. I'm just thinking, I'm not the guy that shoots his mouth off. I'm like, kill, kill, kill. I mean, at a certain point, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. And like Craig said, it was so powerful. It's love of the children is why you do it. Because looking at these people infects me with just rage that I just, and I'm praying to God to control it, because, and sure, some of the rage gets across the listeners, so it gets them out of their trance, but I don't do this on purpose. The point is, I can't handle it anymore. So I want to ask Craig, and then just other key points you want to make, and just your just some of the other stuff your sources are telling you, and some of the other things that are happening here, why you think the elites are so scared right now, just other little points. But getting back to how you control, I guess you have no problem, because you just love. Your dad was a great, well-known preacher and patriot, so you're able to do it for loving reasons. I do things for loving reasons, too. It's more like I'm psychoanalyzing myself right now, because I just get so angry at these people. It's become an issue. Craig?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, when it's been a career in counterterrorism, it's easy to get angry at the behavior, at the destruction, at those who would just make the world a lot worse place. But I've found that I just focus on what is it that I care about, what is it that I'm defending, and that's helped me really, really stay focused on what matters and make the biggest impact. You know, I've always, in service of my country in the military, I've been focused on the American citizens that I was defending, that which I cared about, the sanctuary that I wanted to provide for them and ensure was maintained into the future. So that's what was in my mind. I didn't hate the terrorists. I hated what they were doing, and I was willing to kill, tens of thousands of them in order to stop their negative impact and to keep them from coming here. And I think it's the same thing with these pedophiles. I don't think it's best to just let this seething hatred overwhelm us, because I think it's counterproductive in the long run. I think we stay focused on the innocent children and what we want for them, and how many of them we can prevent from being rolled up into this horrible, horrible situation in the future, and how many we can free who are in bondage right now. And if we stay focused on that, I think we'll have our best impact.
Vets for Child Rescue. Sorry, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, I'm saying that will help us keep our sanity along the way in this fight, because it's dark. What we're discovering and uncovering is unthinkable. It's not. It's a sick mind that would torture an infant to death sexually for some sort of ritual.
Because that is the end of the rabbit hole, is satanic torture of children to death.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what we're learning. So,
and the argument is, oh, we can't tell the public because they'll get too freaked out. Exactly. And return the republic and go after these people. Vetsforchildrescue.org. Again, I mean, I know just the last few months you've been aware of this for years, but it's coming to a crest. Trump leading the fight against it. But wow, when did you decide to do this, and how did you so quickly get this unprecedented array of patriots from every major Western intelligence operation, special forces, you name it? I mean, the SAS, the model, the whole special forces system.
Well, each of these are close personal friends, Alex, that I have either protected in harm's way or have worked with closely in really, really dangerous places, or have been on joint operations with, or have come to know by being like-minded. And so these are fantastic people. I'm so proud to know every one of them. And so over time, this team has kind of just assembled itself by being like-minded. Every individual has a wealth of expertise to bring. So it's a formidable task force, if you will. And so I look forward to us getting into motion under this new org and having our impact there. So again, it's about exposure, that which has been suppressed. There are those doing great investigations and arrests, and that's outstanding. That's fantastic.
But that never gets on the news. So you're going to go cover all the stuff that the enemy doesn't want covered.
Yes, sir. Exactly. That's it. That's it.
It's an info war. You realize that they're shutting down all the real stuff that's happening. We're stopping a lot of it, but they're covering up the light. You're bringing the light, and that's why people want men and women to. There's some great women involved in this as well, to march out and take action. People need the funding. I mean, I look at police chiefs in England coming out and saying, yeah, pedophiles run everything. Here they are. We caught, you have to understand when that police chief comes out, everything, they're under attack. But the good news is more of us stand up, pretty soon the intimidation doesn't work. And I'm like, again, they try to pull stuff on us, whatever. Just, I'm committed. That's why they're so scared. You're committed. Craig Sawyer, tacticalinsider.com is your main website. Vetsforchildrescue.org. We're going to skip this break so we have more time. He's going to leave in a minute. Leanne, I know we got other topics to cover, but I know this is something you've covered and focused on as well. And we've committed. Now the national media has come out and said that, pedophilia doesn't exist and we're all insane, need to be shut down. That, okay, you don't like this, we're going to triple down right now. Leanne?
Well, it's just so incredible because it makes you realize how high up the chain this goes and how very high-level people are protecting this type of perversion. And so they're really, the only stories that you'll ever hear about are the families who are on drugs and they try to sell their little kid on Craigslist. They try to make it seem like it's just this seedy, But
why is it almost always a Homeland Security deputy director flying to rape the 2-year-old? Exactly.
They had the human trafficking report that they put out every few years. It says there expressly that the way that this is allowed to happen is you have your Border Patrol, you have your high-level people in politics who are able to keep the channels going. They're the ones that are kind of, who you go to report to the police chief. But if the police chief is involved, he's going to say,
and let's be clear, most of the Border Patrol, most of the military, the police are the best people out there. It's key people in key positions who can shut down investigations, and then they have the media attack the patriots. That's why the military and police are so ready to expose this, because they've been sitting there watching. Is that accurate, Craig?
Yep, you're absolutely right. So many people are out there great, fantastic, and doing their jobs in good faith with all their heart and soul. But it is those that are in key positions that have been bought out or are complicit anyway, who are are suppressing it. And to finish answering your questions, that's why I've gotten so agitated and so determined and so vocal, is because I got sick of the suppression. I got sick of, out of 152,000 Facebook followers, only 5 or 10,000 people ever see a lot of my posts now after they change their algorithms, and I've got people actively following.
Well, let's be clear. As soon as you started exposing pedophilia, they cut you by 90%. So let's talk about your Facebook as well.
So incredible.
Well, it was Facebook. I can't attach that one to the pedophilia, but I think it's more of just being a conservative, to be honest with you, because that was about a year ago that one dropped off. And now that I've mentioned the pedophilia, the blue verification check on Twitter went away. So Twitter's got my government issued ID, and I've had a blue check there for years. And so now everybody's very angry on Twitter, going, "Hey, this is BS. Why'd they do this to this veteran, man? What's really going on there at Twitter? They should be ashamed. You know, why mess with a guy who's just telling the truth?" So,
that's right. Twitter made me, like 6 years ago when I first got on it. I came to it late. Send in my ID. And then I got a little blue check that's on it. People then know it's you, because you're like, well, why do you care? Let's say Craig or I leave, or you leave Twitter. They'll have all these imposters saying they're us, saying horrible stuff on purpose. I have to be verified.
Right.
You almost have to be on it, because it is like the internet, to then counter the BS, right, Craig?
Yep. So, I want to speak for myself. I don't want anyone else speaking for me. And that's been a strange situation. So all that's kind of really just agitated me and put me over the top. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to be suppressed and beat up and shut down, and all these doors are going to close in my life when I'm trying to do good things, and things are just going to mysteriously keep going quiet, I'm just going to go straight into the fight. I'm just going to roll up my sleeves and give a big up yours to those who want to silence good, decent Americans and suppress this pedophile nonsense. I'm coming at them. So they can thank themselves for that with their meddling and interfering and attempt to suppress a good patriot. Well, now you've done it. Now I'm coming.
That's my philosophy. The crazy thing is I'll be tired, and then they try to shut me down and attack me. And it's like all of a sudden I have all this energy.
Right.
And it's weird. They keep threatening me and doing stuff. And I'm like, do you not understand? But I don't get it, because I don't claim to be Mr. Badass or anything. But fundamentally, as a human and as a Texan, as an American, people try to push me around. They find my legs. It's like then I'm alive when that happens.
Right.
And I think they think I'm like them. They think threatening me is going to make me run off.
Well, that's something I've really learned by working here, is you have to channel that anger and the depression, just the disgust. When you learn about the things that are going on in this dark underbelly, it can really paralyze you with anger, fear, and you have to channel it into positive organizations like this, where you can say, let's use our skills and our talent that we have to take the bad guys out and then do this investigation. Let's channel this into something positive where we can actually help, rather than, they just want you to be silent.
Sure, and I don't want to demoralize people. Well, just little old InfoWars now is attacked second only after Trump, and the enemy hates us, and it's because we're just doggedly never stopping. All right, Craig Sawyer, we salute you for your work. Vetsforchildrescue.org. I know you've got children, I've got children. We're all in this together, and I will just leave it at that. But we really appreciate all you've been through. I know we're going to get into that, but thank you so much for but I guess all they've done is piss you off worse, right?
That's it. I'm just going to amplify my positive efforts after having been stifled initially. We'll just ramp up. And that's why I've assembled a team of those who are particularly skilled and deadly, so that we're not the kind that you intimidate. We're the kind that when you come after us, it backfires on you. Things go horribly wrong on your end. So it's there's a reason, there's a method to what I'm doing here.
All right. God bless you, Craig. We'll talk soon. Amazing. Right. Vetsforchildrescue.org. And I want to make sure accounting gives $10,000 right now. I want to see that on the donate button. I want to see that go up by the end of the hour, next hour that David Knight hosts. I want to see it go up $10,000. Because you could not give money to a better thing. And again, this is all about funding people to go out and do hardcore stuff. And believe me, they are so upset and threatened by this.
So upset.
And see, I noticed I got some contacts, not just talking to him, but a bunch of other people as well in the last month. They're particularly pissed off, not about what I was saying on air, but that they're already so scared of the military and law enforcement that's awake. And then they realize they're linking up with InfoWars. And I mean, I've had State Department, high-level CIA, all of them. They're not saying, hey, you better stop. They're like, oh, my God, you've really got people scared.
Right, but because they know you're not going to back down, you're not afraid to put the truth out there. You're not.
I mean, it's not that I'm even afraid. I can't not stand up to people kidnapping kids. It's like I can't help it. I mean, you know.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't be one of these cops, though. If I went to some place there's kids in cages, I mean, you know.
Well, we saw what happened.
I catch people in there. You know.
We saw what happened with Ben Swan, and I haven't followed up on that, so I don't.
He did nothing. He did a milquetoast report, and they banned him off everything
with stuff that was verifiable. He's a great journalist, but totally memory hold him from the internet and all of his YouTube channel, everything. So that's the kind of power, which is really crazy because something like this with child pedophilia, human trafficking, that's like a huge. Juicy,
and you've got Hillary's main lady doing it in Haiti, being convicted. You've got Epstein. There's just so much of it takes hours to go over. And the media goes, Alex retracted himself. He made up Hillary's killing kids in the basement. I never said that. My reporters never said that. I talked about Syria. They edited it together.
Down again.
But we did follow the media focusing because it was all about pizza code words on a pizza place. Pizza code words is not a pizza place. I said, no, we can't prove that. These people are probably, nice folks, whatever. Because the media was making it a distraction by focusing in on internet reports that we covered too on an organization that's probably completely innocent or whatever. And then I clicked. Remember, I came in like December 1st. I said, shut this down. I said, nobody's covering the Podesta stuff. His brother because it's all about being out in the open with it. Oh, we have pictures of naked kids on our walls. Yes, big deal. Normal. They're in the Washington Post saying it. They were pulling all that, see. Because they were kind of having this moment where it was all out pushing it. And Salon's like, oh, yeah, let us have your kids. And then notice they pulled all that. Now they're like, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Right.
When they were just pushing that it was the next sexual thing.
Right.
So I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes with these people. I just know Obama didn't order $65,000 worth of hot dogs at a party. And I know they're like, well, we'll have the kids for entertainment. They're pretty well behaved, but, they are kids. They'll be in the hot tub waiting for you. And, I'm like, what is this? I mean, I've had lawyers that are looking at this go. At first, they're like, when I'm getting threatened and stuff, they're like, top lawyers are like, yeah, this is, they're like, wow, I didn't know all this. Reviewing this. This is crazy. What's this?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I mean,
how dare you?
Aleister Crowley stuff and like little kids at parties and like vats of blood. What the hell, man? This is what they put in the New York Times.
It's art.
Take your little girl to vats of blood. And then, like, Podesta, I'll be there. We're going to have the semen and breast milk ready for you.
The spirit cooking.
And it's like, and then you realize people out in Hollywood, that old Aleister Crowley crap, that's what Sharon Tate murders and all that helter-skelter was.
Well, this has been around for a long time. And here in the United States, people really suppress their perversions. And so when you have to suppress your shadow self, it emerges in some darker way. Absolutely. And it's just...
I found, because my shadow self got expressed a lot when I was younger, that now it's like my good sides. I think there's really something to that, because they take a Puritan society. I'm not demonizing Christianity, I'm a Christian, but extreme forms of it, just like Islam, you sit there and then it suppresses everything. So then the good things become bad and the bad things become, and then you don't know anymore what's good and bad. And then you gravitate towards the worst thing. Because most of these people that are into this crap are the most suppressed people ever.
Right. Right, that have not been allowed to express themselves at all. And that the thing with this story is like, this should be the juiciest. I mean, CNN did 24-hour news coverage of a missing plane for more than a month because they
there's one mother they think might have kidnapped her kid, it's on news for months, top ratings. You have kids in cages, mass arrest, KTLA, and then nothing after.
Nothing.
The cops put it all on the line. They go, they catch him.
Right. When you have exposed in California that 1,000 foster homes out of the, hundreds of thousands or whatever, 1,000 of them were in the sex offender registry. Foster care parents, 1,000 of them.
That's what I see over and over again.
That's
it's like
one county in California. How does that happen? And that's not all over the news. That's not a huge story. That's not a massive investigation.
And then we're bad and weird to say pedophilia exists and investigate it. And then if we're not absolutely on target on somebody else's report, we say, oh, we're sorry. Well, that's a correction. Like, oh, my God, Alex admits there's no pedophilia in America. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just incredible.
Oh, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Oh, my Lord. We'll be back with Leanne McAdoo and a ton of news straight ahead. You know what's crazy? all day long. And yesterday, it's all Mike Flynn. And did he talk to Russians or not? And, oh, he wants immunity because they want to go after him for lobbying for Turkey, which is, you know, what generals do. And there was just some paperwork not filled out right. And you just watch how the media puts it all on the Patriot movement. And then, and for all Trump's intelligence, Spicer and the rest of it, they still sit there and only kind of partially shut the New York Times and CNN off. They sit there and they respond to all their crap, like asking, you know, when's the last time you raped your wife? Or when's the last time you sold PCP to 5-year-olds in Timbuktu? And I'm like, I never sold PCP to anybody, much less Timbuktu, or never raped my wife. See, I mean, that's what I'm talking about here, is that they just changed the subject. They know they don't have any credibility. They know they have a 7% approval rating, but they can still kick off BS and have us respond. Because, I mean, I got to respond when they say, Alex Jones' Senate investigation is under FBI investigation for being directed by the Russians. No one directs me. I wish I directed myself. I'm interrupting everyone. I mean, everybody knows that. It's redonkulous. But, Leanne, finishing up on this topic, we got a bunch of other news to hit. We got a bunch of clips to get to, too. David Knight's coming up. But it is just an incredible time to be alive. Like you were saying during the break, the hottest topic is satanic networks, pedophiles. We know what's going on. It's confirmed all the time. It gets swept under the rug. But media, again,
ignores it. Huge
arrest happening of the most sensational stuff. I mean, 28 kids in bondage, sex slavery, in an organized pedophile network. That's just one thing, KTLA, of hundreds I have in the last month. Hundreds of articles, 3,000 plus arrests total nationwide. Biggest ever. And this isn't, again, just child porn. This is the people that grab kids out of backyards. Little Joey was grabbed 2 years ago. He's been rescued. Little Jenny. Each of these stories would be top news stories.
Right. And there's
zero coverage, Leanne.
Well, they're so desperate for ratings. Why would they not want to speak about this topic? All I was pointing out.
Because it's their religion. They can't.
How much the fundraiser has gone up in donations just in the few moments that you were speaking.
With vetsforchildrescue.org, yeah, like $19,000.
Yeah, I mean, it jumped up.
Great job.
People really care about this topic. They're really concerned. They really want to change things. And as desperate as CNN or Rachel Maddow or all these people are for ratings because they're totally failing, why would they not want to cover this topic that people really care about? It makes no sense unless you understand how high profile, how high up the chain it goes, and that they want to shut this down.
That's right. Let's put vetsforchildrescue.org back on screen. And again, this is literally just to pay for the air flights and the cruise.
Look at that. I mean, it's already gone up a few thousand just since the last time she refreshed.
Yeah, it was a few $1,000s. He launched it this morning, and now it's at $19,000 up since he came on. I'm going to give $10,000 as soon as the broadcast, or just have my accountant guys just, you know, they've got my credit card. Yeah, let's bam out $10,000 in there.
Put this out, and then it's already up now almost $22,000.
And again, will this save the world? No, but all of us together. High-profile pedophile Army colonel, top attorney and politician arrested in latest child sting. And I've just got NBC News, all of it. Oklahoma State Senator Ralph Shorty charged with engaging in child prostitution. Air Force colonel sentenced for child porn. Could have been a setup. Yeah. Child porn is what they say. Former Northeast Ohio mayor admits to raping 4-year-old. Right. Look at they all look like this guy. What the hell is in his weird development? I bet he was abused. Who wants a 4-year-old?
It's so sick.
I mean, as an alpha male, I'll just be honest. I like full-grown, aggressive, dominant women. I just can't imagine people that want little kids, man. It's sick.
No, it's incredible.
I want to like tell jokes to little kids and teach them stuff and give them ice cream.
I know, and that's why.
Can you imagine raping a kid? I mean, what the hell, man?
It's traumatizing to just even think about.
Even think about it. We have to, though.
And that's why people, you know, they don't want to know that it's out there, that it's going on, but that you're allowing millions of kids every year to be abused and traumatized if you turn a blind eye to it. And I'm
going to be honest. I'm going to make a big admission.
Cover it.
I'm going to make a big admission since you brought this up, Leanne. I'm going to make an admission. Rob Dew asked me a couple months ago, he goes, you used to always cover CPS abuses, you used to always cover the child abuse stuff all the time. That was one of your main topics. Why don't you anymore? And we were sitting there in a meeting. Or I think we were out to dinner with family or something. I was out with his wife and kids. But the point was, I looked at him and I said, well, because I've already covered it so much, you know, I just kind of move on. But then a minute later, waitress came over, gave us some iced tea. And I said, you know, the truth is, it hurts me too bad. And I said, Rob, I'm going to do more. And he said, yeah, we should. And I actually feel guilty. I don't want to know about this. I get why people don't want to hear this. This hurts me, and I'm not trying to, like, oh, it hurts me. I mean, it makes me feel angry. It makes me feel violent. It makes me feel like I'm not doing something. Like 5,000 years ago, 100 years ago, you know, I'm done. I'm not scared of the globalists or any of them. I'm just telling you right now, you're going to get it. Sorry, Leanne, just go ahead.
No, well, it is. It's traumatizing. I mean, when I was working on the Franklin cover-up story, I forget the guy, the football guy, when that story was coming around, I was having nightmares. I couldn't sleep for weeks and weeks until finally that report was put out. I mean, it is traumatizing to just think. So you can imagine.
And that was confirmed out in Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, what was the guy's name? Sandusky? And so how he's kind of funneling these kids out of
I remember John DeCamp, the state senator, and people on my show 20 years ago saying they're running kids through Penn State and Boys Town. I remember delaying them because back then I really didn't want to get sued.
How sick are you?
And the point was, this is like 15 years before it came out exactly. And of course, DeCamp was CIA because they know. They were like literally exposing this. And they poisoned people. I mean, I would talk to these people behind the scenes. I don't even want to tell people the stuff that's going on. You look at people like DeCamp.
You have to be to set up a child rescue center. Oh, you're going to help the troubled teens because they've been.
That's what they always do.
They've had such a hard life. They've had, everything thrown against them. I'm going to help them out. And then you go and pimp them out to your elite friends. I mean, sick.
The media will attack me.
People.
The media will attack me if I say, I'm not making a threat. I'm saying I, at a gut level, I would enjoy beating Jerry Sandusky's brains out with a baseball bat. Okay, and I don't say that to act tough. I have to be honest. That's all I do is tell you what I'm really thinking. When I look at Sandusky and all the little kids he raped, now he was right next to a playground and I know it's way beyond that. He's a procurer, folks. Sandusky, 100% a Renfield. And I want to go into a room of the Renfields and the Draculas, and I want to pull out a big sword, and I want to say to all of them, pull your weapons, let's get it on. Because I am just so sick of them. I am tired of them. I am sick of their crap. And if they want a war, they're going to get one. And I'm not calling for violence. I guess, and again, people need to be convicted. I'm saying at a fundamental level, with all this going on and them trying to sexualize our kids in the media and all of it and Nickelodeon, it's like we should all reject these people, Leanne.
Absolutely. And, just listening to Mr. Sawyer and the vetsforchildrescue.org and just, it gives me hope. I mean, it's still very scary, but there really is nowhere to hide these days thanks to the internet. And if people putting this information out there, not backing down, not being afraid to get all of your videos taken off YouTube in order to get the story out, there's nowhere to hide. And I think that's what they say on their main page there. Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Yeah, some media has come out and said, what is Alex Jones flipping out again about Pizzagate? It's not Pizzagate. The media made that. They focused on groups. Either they're innocent or you can't prove stuff to make it all then go, oh, look, the Catholic Church never did anything. Oh, Sandusky never did anything. They're literally in the news now going, oh, yeah. And then you ask yourself, who the hell is the mainstream media to sit there and know this is an epidemic, admittedly, even in the courts, with convicted people, and just make a joke out of it? Right. Wow, I'm just glad I'm not those people because,
Well, I mean, I think the good thing we can say about this is that their time is nigh for them to be, the exposure.
Is that why they're freaking out so bad?
Absolutely. And that's why they are circling.
What does your female intuition tell you?
Well, I mean, I could sense that it was a little, we see how they're shutting down all the different avenues, all the different revenue streams, here at InfoWars. They're trying to just kind of hit you from all angles so that at some point they can just take you out, at least really try to take one of the legs out, because we're one of the only places that is going to be able to put the truth out there on a mass scale.
I wouldn't pull a stunt like going off air to show folks. If they actually kill me or shut us off, do they have any idea what's going to happen? They're so dumb. Sorry, Leanne, I interrupted.
No, it's just, I mean, we see what they're doing. And I think everyone out there can see what's going on as well, which is why a lot of people are kind of confused and then wondering, well, why is he backing off? Okay, no, he's not backing off. I mean, you got to understand, these are really sick, very scary.
We're not playing games, folks. We're not bashing people that are just on the internet posting comments. That's important. We're out here with our names, our kids, our family. It's all up front.
Right.
People don't know the stuff you've gone through, I've gone through. I mean, it's real. This is not a game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't intimidate us. It makes us stronger.
You think they're going to create CIA sock puppet accounts just to troll people on the internet because you're talking about Hillary Clinton's health? You don't think they're going to go to an even greater extreme if you're someone who's really active?
Well, they go after your family.
Pedophilia.
Listen, I can't say it, but some of these military guys, they've had their families targeted. And these military guys, I love it. They're just like, now I'm really going. That's like, yeah, I like that spirit.
I mean, we're all going to die. I mean, it's the truth. Here in the U.S., within the West, we're afraid of that. We've kind of put it off like it's not even going to happen. We're all going to die. So you got to put yourself all the way out there in this one life that we've got. Something has got to really drive you and make it worth it.
Yeah, what defines you? Going along, being a trendy, believing media that hates you? I mean, I'm not even saying follow what I say. Just be real, folks. Stand for something.
Exactly. Absolutely. You know, we have just this one life. Who gives a crap if you have $100 million and you're 88 years old? What did you live for? What did you stand for?
Exactly. Money is only a tool to do great things.
Who cares if you have all that money in the bank? What'd you do with your life? What'd you stand for?
See, it's a paradox. I don't even want to live in an upper middle class area. The people on average are so obnoxious. But then if I live in a blue collar area, then I'm kind of seen as an elitist living there. Like, why am I there? I just want to like be invisible. But we have to be visible to defeat the evil.
That's so true. It's very true. It's like it's the catch-22. You know, I hate being on social media and having to put myself out there, but at the same time, if you use it wisely and you're able to put out a good message and reach a lot of people, that's powerful. That's why they're so afraid of InfoWars. Because and people are like, well, you hate Google so much and Facebook. Why are you on it? We have to be. We have to be until they shut it down. We've got to reach as many people as possible. That's why you have got to share the articles and share the links and do your part, because they're shutting down our reach just with their algorithms. So we can defeat them if everyone kind of gets in it together.
And the thing is, they're celebrating. Imagine in America, the Democratic Party, Nazi collaborator-funded organizations like Media Matters are celebrating victories to shut us down and shut Drudge down. And it's just like, oh, well, that's just how it is. The left just shuts people down. They just beat people up at demonstrations because they're the liberals. They have the moral high ground. And I'm just sitting here looking at them going, you understand your next plan is shut us down and then physically come after us. And then our plan is game over, dumb butt. And it's not like I'm saying things that I can't cash. It's like I know you're going to lose a physical confrontation.
Right.
That's why they run around squealing and yelling, you know, all day about, oh, we want physical stuff, we want physical. They're the ones that are physical. They don't have, I mean, they just can't help it. I've seen so many times, like, some thug will come up and punch you in the nose, and as soon as you got their head going on down on the concrete, you're like crying for mommy. I'm like, listen, man, you asked for this. This is what you wanted. See, so now you're going to get it. I don't understand why they have to get run over.
They just keep hitting because they know that you're going to be the peacemaker. You just want to, let's just have a civil conversation. Let's talk this out. And they're violent. They're trained on being violent to get what they want.
They're trained by a guy that pledged himself to Lucifer.
Yes. Yes.
Saul Alinsky, what the hell?
The very first radical, that's what he says.
And notice it's all true, not the fake Christian church, but what God gave us. We're given all this prosperity. We're already made in the image of God. We already are the little g. And the devil comes along and says, I'll teach you how to do all this. It gives us all this twisted, weird fraud that's just designed to siphon and steal intellect and build crap. And it's all just ridiculous.
We already have all of that power within us. We've just,
I mean, these pedophiles could go out as they're mainly men. We got a real male bashing like most of the psychopaths and killers, men.
I mean, there's women too, though.
No, but well, there are some. It's like 90% male from my criminology. But correct me if I'm wrong. But the point is, you could have had a wife. You could have had kids. You could have had like a garden in your backyard. You could have looked up at the stars, been part of it. You chose to be cancer in the universe. That's what evil is. They chose to be cancer and not just go with it.
Right.
They're not with us. We have to understand they're not with us.
Right.
They're not. We don't want to destroy them. We think they're with us. They're not. They've got to be cut off and separated, and that's hell. We don't make hell. God doesn't make hell. They are hell. They're with themselves, Leanne.
No, I agree with you that there comes a certain point where you don't have to reach every single soul that's out there. Some people have already made their choice, and that's okay. we have to keep on moving forward, growing, evolving, bettering our own selves, and not worried about all the little trickle down at the scum at the bottom of the barrel.
And then the scum hates the very existence of the light because it sees its ugly face in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
wants to destroy an innocent child because that's
their ultimate selfish act of a seed, of a free will, and a whole destiny, and you can rob it, and you can maim it, you can screw it over.
Well, and there's actual transfer of energy. There's an actual transference of energy
with a ball-peen hammer upside their head.
But you have to do it again and again because that's the little power, the little energy surge you feel is fleeting, and the more you do it, the less exciting it gets.
The energy sphere is you losing your soul. They think that tingle is them getting power. It's them being sucked down.
Right. I mean, I there's a lot of people that have like porn addictions, and the more you watch it, and the deeper you go, it gets less sensational. So then you have to just keep going darker, darker, more perverse, and there's just awful, wicked stuff out there that even children are now being coming in contact with because of the internet. And it's just, you've got to stop and ask yourself, whoa, who am I? Who do I want to be?
But CNN
what road
said,
am I headed down?
Exactly, but CNN said pedophilia is a conspiracy theory.
Well, that's because pedophilia is they're trying to push this as a new sexual orientation, a new gender identity.
And they want, whether it's vaccines or whatever, to get kids as young as 6, 7 to be able to consent to vaccines. They want to have the state come in and be the mommy and daddy, then con the kids to do whatever. I want to hit some other international news you've got there in your stack. David Knight's coming up as well with obviously jam-packed news. But there is a full-on war to bring down Trump by the most evil forces this planet has ever seen. Does that mean Trump's perfect? None of us are. But he is not out to get you, and he is rounding up the pedophiles. And that is, I think, his greatest sin, according to them. And that's why they are sworn to destroy him, because they want your kids. Like Christ said, King James Version, better for you to tie a millstone, giant rock around your neck and throw it in the ocean than to hurt one of these children. Because that's what Satanism is. It's about the selfishness of ruining someone's future. And the best thing is abortion, kill them outright, or if you can't, rape them, torture them, whatever. Put them on a bunch of drugs. Look at this. Veterans for Child Rescue. Ex-Navy SEAL launches Operation Expose Pedophiles. Infowars.com and Don Salazar. I noticed the trolls, I don't point this out to give them attention. They're in here making jokes, pedophile jokes, how great it is. Can you imagine being a slug at home, a liberal, a trendy, and then you're just
That's what you do with your lifetime, is with your free time, is troll article where they're trying to help expose pedophiles and stop pedophilia. That's how you're using your energy to better the world, is to troll.
Yeah, and I should point out that we crashed the site. I just gave $10,000. Here it is. You caring. Alex Jones, you made $10,000 payment to our team. This charge will appear on your statement. Thank you for the donation. Exposing pedophile rings in docu-series by Spec Ops vets. God, how can you not give to that?
Right. And so many people donated in the last 15 minutes. They crashed the site. So be patient.
Yeah. And the thing is, I know so many wealthy people that are going to lose everything if they don't get behind all this. We don't know which torpedo we're going to launch that brings it all down, or how many torpedoes together brings it down. We just know resistance is victory when you have right on your side. Briefly, they're telling me to plug, because it's true. They're trying to shut us down on every front. We get from deep gas wells in 2 locations in the United States, but only one company does it. They get derivatives that are used in pharmaceuticals, you name it, and that is medical grade 999999999 plus 9. I mean, there's a bunch of 9s, iodine from crystals. And everything else is from seaweed. That's what we have. We have one more shipment. It's selling out right now. One more shipment coming in, and they're just giving us a bunch of grief over this. We've had this for 4 years, and it's the best out there. And believe me,
so popular. You launched this product, now everyone wants it. So they're going to make it more difficult for you to source it, which is incredible.
We're not 100% because they won't tell us. It's like, oh, we need more, or we're not sure we're going to get it, or well, we've got other offers now. The market's been, well, no wonder, yeah. But again, it's the good halogen. It needs everything in your body. It's so key. Most iodine is bound. It's adulterated. This is the real stuff. We have 30% off, even though we're selling out of it and only have one more group of crystals to make another run that may be sold out for a month or so before that happens. Despite that, I'm going to leave it at 30% off. It's some metaphysical thing where in my listeners, I want them to get a discount on it. Biotrue selenium, running around on a mustard seed. That's easy to get. That's why it's low priced. but those go together like a horse and carriage. Get them today, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. And then if folks went in there and bought $1 million worth of products in the next month, which they won't do, I'd give the profit all to going after the pedophiles. I'm in a war with these people. Believe me, whatever you see on the surface, which is big, is only the surface. Leanne, we're going to break 5 more minutes for the great David Knight comes in. But what else is coming up?
Well, Zimmerman's going to be talking with us tonight on the Nightly News about these telecom giants that are wanting to mine your web history, what that means, how you can protect yourself. But we're also going to talk about the latest WikiLeaks release. They just released more files today as part of their Vault 7, revealing how they're changing the code to blame it on the Russians and China.
They admit they're setting Trump up. I mean, if Trump was Russian, God, then Russia, please cut my taxes, guns, freedom, Christianity, liberty. I mean, it's not the Russians, folks. It's us. See, we did it. We're big, too. You know, it's happened a couple of times in the tens of thousands of articles that have been written, mainly demonizing me, that they've called me dog-like determination. And in my life, the dogs I've known are better than most of the people. Their spirit is so real, and it's so determined, and it's so honest. And that's why they're our best friends. And I just think about that dog-like determination. And I am proud, and I'm not bragging, just so listeners know that I always got brought up here in Texas and got sick hearing about Texas lore. But I do love the fact that in the White House, they don't call me Alex Jones when they talk about what we're doing or when they give us a call. They say, what is the Texan doing? The president says, what is the Texan up to? And so I am just so honored that they see me as the archetype of a Texan. And that's what it's all about. But anyways, Leanne, looking at all this, and it's not about me. It's about the victory we've had by just standing up for what's right and the dog-like determination, the bulldog-like determination in their face. Other points you've got.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that the EU Nazi-connected dude wanted to take Austin out. He name-dropped Austin, which is, of course, the Central Texas Committee.
I noticed. What did he say about Austin? Yeah, I forgot.
That he was, like, threatening Donald Trump because he, you know, supported Brexit. Well, we're going to come in there and break up the United States. We're going to take out Austin in Ohio. Like, what's... Totally random. That's all you know about our country is. But then again, it is the Central Texas Command Center. So.
No, but it's because Austin is a UN model city. It's totally controlled. They admit that. It's the model of enslavement.
Because, like, why not separate? Why not California? They want to exit. They want to break up. You know, it's just, it was weird. I just took it as a little badge of honor that Austin got a name drop. But I want to just kind of point out here, we're still hearing all about Russia. That's the top story again and again. CNN has the top players in the Russiagate saga. However, nothing there with John Podesta and his connections. But WikiLeaks just released the latest files today, 676 files, part of Vault 7. And these are giving insight into the CIA's Marble software. So this is software that can forensically disguise viruses, Trojans, and hacking attacks. And what it does is it changes the source code so that it makes it appear that it's Chinese, Russian, Korean, Arabic, and Farsi, which is the Iranian language, rather than English written code. So they can blame a cyber attack on whoever they want, which is very dangerous when you think, you know, Hillary Clinton came out as she was campaigning saying how she would go to war over a cyber attack. So they could just false flag set up any country that they want.
The perfect provocation, false flag cyber attack Russia, attack anybody. They've said that.
Right. I mean, so what constitutes a cyber attack? They're actually now trying to lobby to restrict the term cyber attack because it's just kind of a loosely generalized term. What constitutes a cyber attack? Because they want to be able to respond at the very highest level based on this. So they're already kind of setting us up. They're letting us know that our grid is very susceptible to a cyber attack. Meanwhile, they're full steam ahead. They're putting everything to the grid. Out of Zero Hedge, this facial recognition software could ensnare millions of innocent Americans for crimes they didn't commit. So we know that police departments, they're starting to move forward with this type of precognition, facial recognition software. And according to their own research,
it's wrong a lot of the time.
There's a 1 in 5 chance of recognizing the wrong person, so you could be charged with a crime you didn't commit, and then you're already ensnared in the...
Meanwhile, with these databases, they already know who all the criminals are. That's they're just not allowed to move on them. So here's the thing. I used to bash the TSA, and they do a lot of bad stuff. Let's not divert onto them. It's Congress that did it. Let's end it at the problem. Cops do a lot of bad stuff, too. Let's change it to citizens.
Right. Well, and Judge Napolitano, that was one of the key things that he mentioned when he was brought back on Fox News, says he stands behind his story. The sources stand behind it. Trump was surveilled. And what's so important is that in October, all of these surveillance things are up for kind of renewal. So the American people really need to be concerned and focusing on, well, how much surveillance are they allowed to do?
Leanne McAdoo, you are on fire. Leanne McAdoo is our Florida correspondent. David Knight's coming up. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You gonna sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you gonna be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.